Welcome to ÄCCA School of Accountancy. In this video, we will discuss about the F6 important MCQs. Question number 1. Tom has been in business as a sole trader for many years, preparing accounts to 5th April. He made a trading loss of £5,000 in the year to 5th April 2022 and has not made any claim in respect of this loss. In the year to 5th April 23, he made a trading profit of 20,000. What is Tom's class 4 NIC contribution for the tax year 22-23? So here we need to consider that we have to set off the loss from the trading profit and then consider the remaining amount for NIC contribution. So first we have to deduct the loss of previous year. Now this is the amount of 15,000 on which we have to calculate the NIC contribution. So rule apply for NIC contribution is 15,000 minus 12,570 and we have to take 13.25 of this percentage, this amount's percentage. So this will be 15,000 minus 12,570 multiplied by 13.25. So this is 322. So important point in this question is that you have to net off the loss of the previous year from the current year of profit. So this is the point you need to remember, that if in the previous year you have been given a loss and that loss has not been claimed, in that case your current year profit will be reduced by that loss, and on the remaining amount you have to calculate the NIC contribution. Second question, how much contribution an individual can make if he has no relevant earning? If he has no relevant earning, then for the calculation of maximum annual amount in the topic of pension, you have to consider 3600 or 100% of relevant earning. So this is 3600, the contribution an individual can make if he has no relevant earning. Third question is, Mike has invested 8,000 in August 2020 in a flexible cash individual saving account. In July 2022, he invested a further of 5,000 in that cash individual saving account. He withdrew 4,000 from the cash individual saving account in December 2022. Mike is now considering investing more cash into the cash individual saving account before April 2023. What is the maximum amount that Mike can invest into the cash individual saving account for the tax year 22-23 in addition to his investment already made? So this question is selected because we have to consider this point, that only current year investment and withdrawal has to be considered for this further investment amount. Means the amount already invested in the year 2021 of 8,000 should not be considered. It is only the current year investment and withdrawal that we have to consider. So 5,000 is the investment made and 4,000 out of this has been withdrawn. So if 5,000 invested, 4,000 withdrawal from that, only 1,000 remains in the investment account, and as we have been told, the limit of cash individual saving account is 20,000. So further 19,000 can be invested before April 2023. So what is the main point to consider, to remember, is that if any amount has been invested in the previous tax year, it should not be considered while deciding further amount to be invested. Next question, Jackson had always been UK resident prior to the tax year 22-23, but he has not spent more than 90 days in the UK in the 2 previous tax years. Jackson is a self-employed and does substantive work but not full-time in UK during 2022-23. So it is a one sufficient time. He has no close family. Jackson own a house in UK, so another sufficient time. On 6 April 2022, he started to rent an overseas apartment in which he lived for 245 days. So it appears that he has some house in overseas as well. He then rented to the UK, where he lived in his house for the remainder of the tax year 22-23. Is he considered to be a UK resident? So first we need to consider whether in accordance with the automatic UK resident test has been passed by that person Jackson. So the automatic resident test required a person to stay for more than 183 days or more. So that person has not spent 183 days. In fact, he has spent only 120 days. Out of 365 days, he lived 245 days in overseas. So he spent 120 days in UK. The second automatic resident test required that person work full time in UK. So he is also not working full time in UK. So this automatic resident test is also not passed. Third point is his only home is in UK. So as he has overseas home as well, so we cannot say that in UK's home is his only home. So that is why he has not cleared the automatic UK resident test. Then we have to consider his stay in UK is 120 days, and if a person has a stay between 91 to 120 days in UK, if a person has a stay between 91 days to 120 days in UK, he needs two sufficient ties in order to be considered as resident. So this person has work substantive in UK, and second, he has a house in UK. So these two sufficient ties has been completed, so he can be considered as a resident person. Remember, if a person stay between 91 to 120 days, he needs two sufficient ties in order to be considered as a resident person. So as this person is doing substantive work in UK and also he has a home in UK, so that is where two sufficient ties completed. So this person is said to be resident. Now question is, you are a tax advisor for the following client, and the question is which your client can claim tax relief for travelling expenses between home and Bristol. Remember that now they are checking your knowledge about the permanent workplace and temporary workplace, because if a person works from home to the temporary workplace, the tax relief is allowed, and if a person works from home to permanent workplace, the tax relief is not allowed. So the first person, Fanny, who is a legal advisor, he works in the Bristol office 3 days a week and spend the rest of his time visiting clients in London and Leeds. So as he is working in Bristol office, it means that this is his permanent workplace. So from home to permanent workplace, any travelling expenses will not attract tax relief. So this person will not be allowed tax relief for travelling expenses. Second, Amy, who is a computer technician, he works 2 days a week at a Bristol workshop and 3 days a week at a Swindon workshop. So this appears to be that this person has two permanent workplace, one at Bristol and second at Swindon. So again, distance from home to permanent workplace is not considered to be allowed for relief for travelling expenses. Third, Max, who works for an accountancy firm, he is based in Birmingham office, but he has been seconded to the Bristol office for 12 months. So we know that this person is employed in Bristol for less than 24 months. So this place is said to be the temporary workplace for Max. So he will be allowed a tax relief on travelling expenses. Fourth, Kelly, who works permanently in the same Birmingham office as Max, she occasionally travels from home to visit a client to Bristol. As she occasionally travels from home to visit a client in Bristol, so this is said to be her journey for the performance of her duties. So that is why she is also allowed travelling expenses tax relief with regard to this visit. Next question is, Gray is employed by Shield PLC at a salary of £30,000 each tax year. For the tax year 22-23, Shield PLC paid Gray's corporate gym membership at a cost of £1,500. So it is a taxable benefit. Gray received no other benefit from Shield PLC. Shield PLC does not payroll any of the benefit provided to employees, and requirement is, which form, if any, does CL PLC use to report this benefit to HMRC, and by what date must it be submitted to HMRC? So this is the rule to be remembered, that any taxable benefit which is not payroll must be submitted by the employer in the form P60, and it should be submitted by 31st May 2023. So if an employee has been provided some benefit, some taxable benefit, and that benefit is not payrolled, in that case the employer Shield company has to report this benefit to HMRC in the form named P60 by the date 31st May 23. Next, Toby will be required to travel on business in the UK and will be paid £7 per night to cover private incidental expenses. If he stays away from home overnight, Toby will spend 45 such nights away from home. The amount will be reimbursed in full by his employer. What is the total amount Toby's employer will report to HMRC on form P11D for Toby for the tax year 22-23? So here you need to remember that the expenses up to £5 per night paid by the employer are said to be exempt. Remember the rule that if an employee is traveling in or stay out in the UK but not in his home city, then for his private incidental expenses, if his employer has paid him £5 per night, it is said to be exempt. अगर £5 पर नाइट के हिसाब से एम्प्लॉय को पे किया जाता है कि अगर वो यूके में ही किसी और शहर में रह रहा है ओवर नाइट फॉर मीटिंग हिज प्राइवेट इंसिडेंटल एक्सपेंसेस, तो दिस अमाउंट इज सेड टू बी एग्जाम. बट if more than that is paid, so remember that the whole amount will be taxable, not only the excess. The whole amount of £7 per night will be taxable, not only the excess above £5. तो आपके पास £5 से ज़्यादा जो अमाउंट है वो टैक्सेबल नहीं होगी, आपकी सारी की सारी अमाउंट £7 की अमाउंट टैक्सेबल होगी. So as he person stays for 45 nights, 45 into 7, so this is 315. तो याद रखने वाली बात यह है कि आपके पास जो एग्जम्पशन का रूल है उस रूल के हवाले से याद रखना है कि ओवरनाइट स्टे के हवाले से अगर एम्प्लॉयर कोई अमाउंट पे कर रहा है तो हमें सिर्फ एक्सेस अमाउंट को टैक्सेबल नहीं कंसिडर करना, द होल अमाउंट इज कंसिडर टू बी टैक्सेबल, राइट. Next question is, James is a sole trader. He prepares account for the year ended 5th April 2022 and has deducted the following items of expenditure in the statement of profit and loss. Depreciation 5,000, accountancy fee for preparation account 2,000, entertainment of staff party at £300 per person for 9 employees 2,700, and entertainment of customer 2,400. How much should be add back to the James net profit to arrive at his adjusted taxable profit? So remember that this is the amount to be added back, the amount that is not considered by tax authorities as expense should be added back, and that is depreciation and the entertainment of customer. These expenses are not allowed in accordance with tax authorities rules. So while calculating adjusted taxable profit, these amounts should be add back. So this is 7,400 that should be add back. So इस क्वेश्चन में हमसे सिर्फ ये पूछा जा रहा है कि आप अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट से टैक्सेबल प्रॉफिट या एडजस्टेड टैक्स प्रॉफिट फाइंड आउट करते वक्त कौन सी अमाउंट को ऐड बैक करते हैं तो याद रखें वो एक्सपेंसेस सिर्फ ऐड बैक किए जाते हैं जो आपके पास टैक्स अथॉरिटीज़ इन एक्सपेंसेस को नहीं मानती। लाइक डिप्रिसिएशन, अकाउंटिंग डिप्रिसिएशन को टैक्स अथॉरिटीज़ नहीं मानती, तो ये ऐड बैक कर लिया जाएगा। और सेकंड, entertainment of customers, that should be added back. So it is total 7400. This is the amount to be added back. So next question is, Jin owned 20,000 nominal value 5% UK government loan stock. Interest was payable on 30th June and 31st December each year. Jin sold the loan stock to Min on 31st October 2022 for the sale proceed of 21,333, including accrued interest of 333 for the period between 1st July 2022 and 31st October 2022. So this is how this has been calculated. Required, what are the amount taxable on Jin and Ming as saving income respect of the loan stock for 22-23. As we have been told that Jin owned 20,000 5% UK government stock. So remember that Jin has not purchased this investment during this year, right? This is the point to remember, that Jin has not purchased this investment during the tax year 22-23. So first interest income of first 6 months on 30th June, this will be the amount of 20,000 5% multiplied by 6 by 12. This is the amount of 500 that would be included in the income of Jin. Further, we have to calculate the income of Jin because he has hold the investment from 30th June to 31st October. So this is the period of 4 months, July, August, September, October. So for this 4 months period, the amount of interest that he has received, not yet received, but receivable for him, is to be included as his income, and that is 333. So total income of Jin would be recorded as 833. While in case of Ming, although she has received the whole amount of interest on 31st December 500, but she is entitled to receive only 2 months interest. So the 4 months interest that she received is for that period for which Jin has hold the investment. So that interest would be deducted from here, and only 167 amount of interest income will be recorded as Ming income. तो रिमेंबर ये पॉइंट याद रखना है आपने कि आपके पास इस पर्सन ने, जिन पर्सन ने इस साल के दौरान इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं की, अगर इस साल के दौरान इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं की तो फर्स्ट इंटरेस्ट की जो इंस्टॉलमेंट रिसीव करेगा, द होल अमाउंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इनकम बिलोंग्स टू जिन, सो दैट होल अमाउंट शुड बी रिकॉर्डेड. And then from 30th June to 31st October, this is the period of 4 months that he is entitled to receive interest as accrued income. So this 333 is also recorded as his income. So total income of Jin, interest income, will be recorded as 833. While in case of Ming, the amount of interest she received is on 31st December 2022 is whole 500. But out of this 500, she is entitled to receive for only 2 months इंटरेस्ट, बिकॉज उसने इन्वेस्टमेंट होल्ड जो की है वो सिर्फ 31 अक्टूबर से लेकर 31 दिसंबर तक की है. सो सिर्फ 2 मंथ्स का इंटरेस्ट उसे रिसीव होना है, उसकी उसका वो इंटाइटल है कि वो रिकॉर्ड करे. बाकी 4 मंथ्स का इंटरेस्ट जो है वो इनकम होगी जिन की. सो दैट इज़ वाई 500 में से 333 माइनस करके रिमेनिंग अमाउंट रिकॉर्ड की जाएगी एज मिंग इनकम. नेक्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. Jack is employed by Star PLC. Jack is a director of Star PLC. Star PLC has 31st March accounting reference date. Remember, for director there are some special rules that we have to consider in this question, how to apply these rules. 5,000 bonus was awarded by a company to Jack. This amount was determined by director on 25th February and credited to Jack, means director's account, on 5th March. Subject to the condition that he could not withdraw the bonus until 20th April, on which date he become entitled to the payment of bonus. So this is said to be date of entitlement of bonus. Jack was actually paid the bonus on 28th April 2023. when bonus is received for the purpose of employment income and determine the tax year in which each bonus will be taxed. So, first we need to consider what is the employment income. So, we need to consider 4 dates. First is said to be year ending date, that is 31st March, right. Second date is said to be when JAC amount is credited to JAC account, that is 5th March, right. Third is date of entitlement, that is 20th April, and fourth is the when the bonus is actually paid, that is 28th April 2023. So, the year ending date is 31st March. Credited to account, bonus credited to account, credited to account is 5th March, date of entitlement that is 20th April, and date of payment is 28th April. So, we have to consider whichever is earlier. So, whichever is earlier is a date that is mentioned as credited to account, and that is 5th March 2023. So, it is the tax year 22-23 in which this income of bonus is recorded as taxable income. Now, next question is about employee. First is about the director employee. Now, it is about a normal employee. Julie, who is employee of a Moon PLC but not the director, of Moon, received 3,000 as bonus from Moon PLC. Julie become entitled to be paid this bonus on 31st March 2022. 31st March 2022. But agree the payment should be delayed due to Moon PLC's cash flow problem. He was actually paid the bonus on 30th April 2022. Requirement is explain when the bonus is received for the purpose of employment income and determine the tax year in which bonus will be taxed. So, here we need to consider 2 dates. First is said to be the date of entitlement, that is 31st March 2022, and second is date of payment, that is 30th April 2022. So, whichever is earlier is considered to be 31st March 2022, and this is the tax year 21-22 in which this bonus is to be recorded. So, date of entitlement is 31st March 2022 and date of payment. So, in case of employee हमें सिर्फ ये 2 dates देखनी है, and whichever is earlier is said to be the date when the bonus income or employment income is to be recorded. So, this is 31st March 2022 and this date lies in tax year 21-22. So, this income will be recorded in the year 21-22. So, that's for now. We will continue from next questions in the next lecture.